Now come on, how's that for a clickbaity title? You're intrigued, aren't you? Don't lie, you're intrigued. So welcome back to another episode of the Orcs Den with me, Carl. It's like that. Oh, it's new, it's new. Right, let's get straight into this fucking one because this is one that probably hurts so many people. You want a diet? You're not losing weight. Why? Five foods, in my opinion, that you're not tracking, and it's severely fucking you over. Now they're sneaky ones, they're sneaky. No one thinks about them, they're sneaky. 1 minute you're eating your salad, then boom, it creeps up on you, and you've put on an extra big chunky lump. So without further ado, let's get stuck into this one like a fat motherfucker eating cake. Alright, so number one here, okay, this is the most simple one. So everyone's probably tracking right now, okay? You follow your diet, you're tracking what you're eating, down to a T. And then you find out maybe a week or two later, you're not losing weight. What the fuck's going on? Number one, sugars, sweeteners, and sauces. I know all you people out there are doing that. I know you're doing it. You've definitely got sugar, you've definitely got sweeteners, and you definitely got sauce somewhere in that fucking diet. Now, are these bad things? Of course not. I mean, we did a video recently on carbohydrates, they're good, and what sauces to do. However, most people don't track the calories because it's very difficult to. I mean, if you had this, say, a teaspoon of sugar on your tea, it's very hard to track that exactly to see how many calories that is. Same thing goes with sweeteners. A lot of sweeteners say they're calorie free, but when you look in the ingredients, when they have, say, carb, starches, sources, for example, on them, a carb is a calorie. So there has to be some sort of calorie there. And then sauces are the most obvious one. People don't exactly track the sauces by normal tea. So we're going to show an example in the kitchen. We're going to show exactly the calorie intake from certain sauces and certain sugars and what the actual measurements on the back of it look like. All right, sugar. So, going to give an example here. Right, so a teaspoon for 4 grams of sugar, you're talking 68 calories. What does 4 grams look like? Well, we're gonna weigh this out. All right. So. That's 4 grams of sugar. That is barely nothing. So, just out of curiosity, how many of you are putting that in your tea? Now, I'll tell you the spoonful you're actually taking. Is it more like that? Does that look more right? Yeah? That's 6 grams. Sorry, that's 7 grams. More like that probably. How about another one of those, yeah? So 14 grams, say. That's about 120 calories per cup. All right, sorry, now I don't have enough in this to actually give an example, but I have weighed this out before. So this teaspoon here, fill the soy up to this spoonful, and you're looking at around 10 to 15 milliliters. That though in soy land works out, you're not bad. A tablespoon will work out round about 12 to 15 calories. That's pretty good. But the more and more you sprinkle on, you may be talking about 30 to 40 calories. So watch the soy as well. I don't really need to explain the mayo. Mayo is the exact same. Literally a spoonful of mayo just to cover this. Again, with that, you're talking around about, if it's good mayo, maybe 50 to 60 calories. Again, you're probably not using this. So use this as a staple. So as you can see, guys, just from those simple little things that you're probably not tracking, you could be talking per day, maybe close to a couple of 100 calories. Times that over a week, there's 1,400 calories. That's gonna wipe any progress out of your daily calorie deficit you're doing every day. Number two. Now number two is a great one. This is actually one that I never thought about really when I was trying to cut. So when we're cutting like bodybuilders do, a lot of it anyway is you try to start with simple stuff. I mean, I wouldn't just suddenly stop eating 1,000 calories. I'm gonna lose a lot of muscle mass for that. So I just do these simple things. For example, if I was, let's say I was maybe having a wee snack of a spoonful of peanut butter a day or a handful of nuts. I would maybe lower them nuts down to, say, 30 grams. I'll go to 15 grams. Or eventually, a month later, I'd take them all out. You know, I wouldn't necessarily change my whole diet. It would just be them sort of bits around that. And then you start to cut more and more as you track your weight. This one goes for proteins, BCA powders, glutamine powders, amino acid powders, any sort of form of powder form you're taking in a drink. Now, yes, these are brilliant. Obviously, great supplements, great to spice up your sex life and your water intake. But these things contain calories. I want to go back into the kitchen. I'm going to throw a few examples of the type of supplements and what they include. Now, you'll be very surprised of the calories that each one of these servings actually include. Okay, quick shouting powders. An example here. So, amino acids. A lot of people take these. They fill up with water. They're good, very good for you. But think about the servings. So 9 grams, which is a scoop serving, is 30 calories. Again, may not seem much, but 30 calories, take that a couple times a day over the week. Again, you're talking over about 700 calories, 600 calories just in a week. Carb powders, for anyone that do take that, obviously that's going to have a lot of calories. It's 100 calories per serving. Think about that. Protein powders. This is a cheap one. This only has 107 calories, but most of the ones from My Protein, you're talking maybe around about 100 calories to 120 calories. Again, count it. It does count. Pre-workouts, most pre-workouts don't tell you there's anything in them, but I guarantee there is something in them. It could be 20 to 30 calories, but there's calories in it. Pump pre-workouts or pump products for any sort of avid bodybuilders out there, 15 calories per each one. The point is that there's everything you're going to consume is going to have some sort of calories in it, right? You need to be really meticulous, roughly. I mean, it may only be 30, 40 calories a day, and you may look at it and go, I'm not going to bother tracking that. But if it's going to be the case of over a week where you're not losing that extra bit of weight, if you're looking to go into about 100 or 200 calorie deficit, that could be the reason, you know? So you have to equate that in your mathematical equations for gains. So again, just by that, you can see there's a lot of calories you could be consuming. If you're doing maybe a couple of powder drinks a day or a few, again, that may only seem about 80, 90 calories a day, but again, put that over the week. That's a lot of calories. I mean, that's maybe 500 calories. Again, wiping out clear any fucking progress you've made throughout every day in a caloric deficit. Third one. Now this one should be obvious, but again, people don't use the recommended servings, and they probably don't even track it anyway, which is oils. So everyone needs to cook. At some point you cook in oils. You know, as I preach, olive oils and stuff like that, they're great fats, right? Great to have in your diet. But there's a lot of fucking calories in that. You need to be really, really, really scientific and measurable by this. So when we say a teaspoon of oil, you think of a teaspoon of oil, that's enough, right? Now most people think I'm using a teaspoon of oil, Carb. 100% I'm using a teaspoon of oil. I guarantee you you're not. You sprinkle it on a pan, you look at it and go, well, it looks like a teaspoon. We're gonna measure in a video here what a teaspoon actually looks like, or a tablespoon, sorry. What it actually looks like. And I guarantee you're not using that. In fact, I guarantee you're using about 3 or 4 of those. Now, we did calorie reduction for this calculation, okay? So what I've worked out is a tablespoon's around 15 grams. Now, that works out, in terms of milliliters, it works out around 124 calories, just in a tablespoon of oil. Now, it's a great healthy source, they're good fats, but that's still 124 calories. If you're having a few of those in meals, think of the much calories you're adding just by oil. My best recommendation would be a tablespoon just. Keep it strict to a tablespoon, even a half a tablespoon. Top it up with the rest of the spray, then 1 calorie sprays. At least that way you can somewhat track it. All right, so oil. I said a tablespoon of oil is around 15 grams, okay? Which equates to around about 124 calories. All right, now you may be thinking, I'd probably take around a teaspoon. I guarantee you're not, and I'm gonna show you an example here. So I'm gonna pour out a tablespoon of oil. What it looks like. Okay, so there's your tablespoon. That's probably a wee bit over 15 grams. That's it. Now you may think that looks like a lot, but we put this in the pan. Look at it. It's barely really covered it at all. Now I guarantee when a lot of you guys are cooking, it's flooding on the thing. This is hardly even covered up. Literally only a wee bit. And that's 124 calories there. What the fuck else are you putting that in? Couple meals, 4 meals, couple tablespoons. It's literally only a couple tablespoons. So to track it, I recommend only a tablespoon. To track it, use the spoon, but don't just start pissing it around. All right, fuck it, we're going balls deep here in the 4th one. Fruits and vegetables. And you're probably saying now, oh, now fucking fruit's bad. Now fucking vegetables are bad for you. Well, hear me out. So, most people consume fruit and they think, oh, look at me. Oh yes, that's my apple. Oh yes, this is my orange. I'm actually having my 5 a day. I won't count these. Count the fruit. Some fruit contain a lot of calories. A banana could be close to 100 calories. Now yes, it's very good sources. You're getting good vitamins out of it, you're getting your potassium, but a lot of fruits, as we talked before, have fructose sugars in them. That type of energy source doesn't convert, it's not glycemic, it doesn't convert into energy. It tends to get stored in the liver as fat cells. I'm not saying to stop eating fruit, I'm just saying that some of them can be high calories because of the high sugar content, so watch the fruit. Now, most vegetables are fine, but I'm going to give you one little example for a vegetable that actually is quite detrimental, and that's sweet corn. I see a lot of people in the tuna salads have a big heap of sweet corn. Sweet corn's awesome, it's great, but there's a lot of calories in that. A basic serving of sweet corn, and I swear to fuck, a serving is not much. It is so small, because I measured out one day and I was disgusted by it. But a serving is close to 95 calories of a serving of sweet corn. Most of you motherfuckers out there are probably doing 3 servings, like I was. I was putting about 3 servings on my tuna. And I was probably putting on about 300 extra calories. It's not needed. Right, the last one. I'm gonna get nice and close for this, the last one, right? The last one, okay. This is fucking you over. And I know for a fact this is probably fucking you over. Because it fucked me over from the early days. So when I was losing weight, I was obviously losing weight. I used to be about 16 stone. I used to lose weight, but then it used to slow down. And I wondered why it was doing that. Because Monday to Friday, I was eating clean. And then the weekends, I thought it wasn't too bad. But what I realized is, it's the cheat meals. Now, everyone needs a cheat meal. You need to stay sane. But the cheat meals could be severely, and I mean severely, bending you over and going in without any lubricant at all. I want you to think about this for a second, okay? So, a cheat meal is good for every week to keep you sanity. But think, what is the cheat meal you're having? What's the calories in it? Think about it. Now, I want you to properly track it. Now, most people don't track a cheat meal because it's a cheat meal. The idea of a cheat meal is to not track it. It's like, well, it's just a cheat. I'm not going to track it. You need to track it. You need to track this. Now, if you eat now, it's going to be very hard. But think of it this way. So say every day you go on around about 150 calories to 200 calories of a caloric deficit every day. At the end of that 5-day to 6-day period, you've saved up around about 1,200 calories for that week. And you're like, happy fucking days. That could be a pound or 2 burned off. Oh, girls, girls, girls. Now, you consume a cheat meal. A cheat meal that's about 1,500 calories to 2,000 calories over your limit in one sitting, not including what you're eating that day. That has just eliminated 6 days of progress. Think about it. It is so detrimental. I used to do it in Ben & Jerry's sugar tubs. Ice cream is my Achilles heel. I fucking love ice cream, man. I used to eat the proper full sugar Ben & Jerry's. Now, at the time, I was like, wow, it's a dessert. It's lovely. I'm treating myself. But the dessert is around about 1,500, close to 2,000 calories. I was eradicating any progress I did that week, more or less. That's why my weight wasn't shifting. So what did I do? I just moved it on. I moved it on to a low sugar one, which is 500 calories. It would save me 1,500 calories. And see, after 2 weeks, I prefer the low sugar one. See, when you get your taste buds focusing around on something, it adapts, and you couldn't even see yourself eating the full one. Same goes for Coke, full fat Coke. When you go to like sort of Coke Zero, for example, you can't even a week off full fat Coke and you go back on it. Your teeth feel all fucking gritty and grimy and slimy, everything. It just doesn't feel right. So you get those things implemented down each month. Think of the calories you're saving. That's going to sustain more of a long-term goal opposed to some sort of short-term phase where you've just decided, I'm just going to go on a slimming world, or I'm just going to go on some sort of, low sugar diet, but fuck me, I'm gagging for the sugar. I'm gagging for it. And then what happens at the end of the month? You want to go back on it again. Find the substitutes, find the good substitutes, stick with them, and think, do you know, I could eat this for the rest of my life. I prefer this over the other one. And then when you do, you just kind of keep that consistent calorie flow going. So that's honestly my best 5 recommendations for these. These are the things that I knew in the past had messed me up. And, again, you don't want to spend all your days tracking. I mean, you don't want to be around friends and knowing you're that type of person. It's like, do you want a bun? It's like, oh no, God, how many calories is in that? Educate yourself on what contains what and what calories contain. You can kind of get a rough idea. Track it for a few days and then kind of consistently eat more or less the same thing. The more experience and knowledge you get, then you're going to be able to look at something and go, do you know what? That's not worth it for the calorie intake. I'll take something else that's just as enjoyable. So let me know what you think of those 5. As the kids say, please like and subscribe to my channel. Please comment any cheat meal ideas or any sort of diet ideas that anything that messes you up during diets. I would like to hear it. Also puts me further up in the search bar. Anyway, you can find me on Carl_Gibson on Instagram, and my website is www.theorksden.com, where you can purchase many different programs and get free advice. Anyway, I'll catch you guys for the next one. Cheers.